And we're live. It actually says that we are live. So this week I did not forget to push the button. Hi, everybody. Elena, I wanted to say thank you before we begin that I saw your notification that you became a super member on Patreon instead of a standard member. So thank you very much. I don't know if you guys can see the difference, but I feel a humongous difference in the use of my mouth. It's alive, even though it's not fully functional. So I can lift my eyebrow. If that's something I couldn't do at all last week. So I'm on the way to recovery. Yay! My mom is on. She says, hey, Jace. So I want to say hey back. And ask you guys how you doing. How was your week? Good to see you. Jonathan,
well.
You look angry.
I'm doing well. Sorry.
Welcome back.
Hashem.
What did I
What's
look
that,
like?
Elena?
Baruch Hashem. Baruch Hashem.
Baruch Hashem.
Baruch Hashem. You look like. And I'm like, oh. Talk. Colton, how you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm cold other than that, so but I'm great.
Yeah, I guess back in the States right now, you guys are having some kind of cold front.
Well, I mean, it is winter.
Over here, it's chilly, but it ain't cold. Like we pulled it up a few minutes ago. It's 50 degrees over here, right?
Yeah, 54, something like that.
Yeah.
Hello, Marielle.
Hi, Muriel. Welcome again. Nice to see you. I will remind everybody we've got 4 viewers at this time. We will. I would ask you as we get started to go ahead and hit like. I know we don't have a lot of people to watch, but we want to start to try to get some new people. So hit like, try to share the stream if you can, and of course, be subscribed to us. We are continuing in our reading of Psalm 119 this week, and I actually put 119 in the correct Roman numerals, unlike last week where I had it wrong. So here we go. The top is, of course, English and Hebrew in the middle, and Greek at the last. Notice that Greek, the 𝗥𝗘𝗦𝗘𝗥, is not 119, it's 118. In the Septuagint, this chapter is numbered as 118. These are our Patreons currently. Elena just joined the super members. We've got Galen and Kirkpatrick, Jay. If anybody has seen Galen, I would love to know how he's doing because we haven't seen him in a few weeks. I mentioned it last week too, but our standard members are Adel, Colton, Aaron, Erwana, who just joined us, James, who hangs out with us all the time on Discord, Jonathan, Santana, Ken, Muriel, Nate. Nate was with us last night while we were doing some Greek. Oscar and Asael. Please come over on Discord, the HebrewCafe.com/Discord. We talk all the time. Conversations about everything. These are our announcements for the week. We need to let you know that we're changing some things because we are finishing Wine Green. How do you guys feel about finishing Wine Green?
God, from whom all blessings freaking flow.
I see over there that's sure.
I got the question. We are using the next book that with the guy with difficulty to pronounce the last name. Show. Show. Okay, show. And so there are two options there. One is is third edition or something, and the other one is a revised edition.
Is there a new edition? There's a third edition now?
The one that comes from 85 and revised comes from 91. One is kind of reddish. The other one is white.
Yeah, you want to get the most current one for sure.
The one we're going to be using is from 1995.
Okay, I got it. Okay, thank you.
It looks like this now without the cover.
It looks white, but
there's a white dust cover that it's sold with. Yeah.
Okay.
His name is spelled S-E-O-W in English, but it's from the Chinese Xiu. Just so you know.
Mm-hmm.
Great, but most people say Sao or Sio or something like that because nobody knows how to say it.
So, or Sao or Sayao or any variation.
We're going to go with Sheol because I think that's how it's supposed to be said.
Yes.
Anyway, back to it. So we're finishing Wine Green, which we've been working on in the second and third hours. That is at 6 and 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern time. And so for the second hour, we're going to be going with Biblical Hebrew 101, which is going to be using Sheol's grammar, a grammar for Biblical Hebrew. So please, I'll make myself big so you can see it. Please pick up this book. It's Grammar for Biblical Hebrew, Revised Edition, whoever's going to be going with us, by C.L. Sheol. And we're going to take that from the beginning. Next week, Jonathan will give the first lesson dealing with the alphabet, not the vowels, only the letters of the alphabet, go over them, group them together, talk about how to pronounce them and all that stuff. And we're going to start basically at the beginning of a biblical Hebrew text and work through it together, do the exercises together, and see where we get. In the third hour, which we've been doing Wine Green English to Hebrew for Patreon only, we're going to be doing a thing where I'm pulling texts from the narrative portions of the Bible and asking questions about them in Hebrew. And this, of course, is part of our Patreon only content. So if you're interested, get signed up on patreon.com. It's patreon.com/thehebrewcafe. So go get signed up. You can participate with us, and we're going to put together another once in a month, Patreon meetup pretty soon. Going through Sheol's grammar. So the textbook, again, is called A Grammar for Biblical Hebrew. It's a revised edition from Abington Press, 1995. You can purchase it from Amazon at amazon.com/dp/ and that number 14267-89076. It would be a clickable link, but you don't have access to this PowerPoint. So a bit about Dr. Sheol. This is basically adapted from the Vanderbilt website. So he got his U.S. education from Pepperdine University, an MDiv from Princeton, a PhD at Princeton Theological, a PhD from Harvard University under Frank Moore Cross. He's been teaching Hebrew for over 30 years at Princeton Theological Seminary, including as Henry Snyder Gaiman Professor of Old Testament Language and Literature. He has had lecturing roles at Harvard, at JTS, and various other institutions in Asia and Africa. He grew up in Malaysia.
He's retired. This is as of 95, right?
So I'm not sure.
I think he's an old man now, but I met him at SBL one year, so that was fun.
Well, he grew up in Malaysia I believe to a Chinese family. This is why his name is Sheol, because it's a Chinese name. I think they spoke Mandarin at home, I think. Anyway, we are going to be meeting every Monday at 6 p.m. It's 1 hour after this session starting next week, December 9th. So that is our plan as we're moving forward. Any questions before we put up to display the verses that we're going to be covering today? Jonathan, my mom says hi.
Oh, yes. Hello. I said hi to her.
No
I
question?
said mother of Jason. Like the mother of dragons, it's the same thing, except it's Jason.
Nice. Great. So here we go. These are the verses we're going to be covering. Basically, it's two sections, Ayin and Pei, from Psalm 119, which is what we've been working on. I'm going to choose red ink and just group them real quick. So this is section Ayin, and this is section Pei, just so we're aware visually. All right, let's jump in. Because again, we've covered 10 minutes. We've got 50 minutes to go before we go into the next session. So, all right, this is our first verse. Who wants to read first? Sorry. Who wants to read first? We'll also comment where it's relevant about emendations from the BHS, the Biblia Hebräische Stuttgart-Tension. Who wants to start?
Jason, why don't you start, and I'll pick up second, and then Colton.
All right, so the first verse says, Asiti mishpat, yes. Asiti mishpat v'tzedek, bal tanicheni le'oshkai. So it should be mentioned that the VHS says that asiti in some manuscripts is instead asita. That is, you have done. Right? Asita. Asita mishpat v'tzedek. You have done justice and righteousness. Something like this. Do not place me or do not allow me or leave me, lahaniach, leave, place, put, anything like that. Can also mean allow. Notice we want to talk about the root because it's kind of funky. Le'oshkai. This is oshkim. It's a participle of lasok. So oshkim, oshkai. This is those who do me bad. They do me wrong. They oppress me. They do bad things to me. So it can be, I have done justice and righteousness. Do not leave me to those who oppress me. Or it can mean you have, according to the manuscripts, right? Tanicheni. This is, it looks like it's from nun chet. This is why there's and you see the assimilated nun right there. And it's hifil.
What did you say?
It looks like it's from nun chet. That's why it's got the assimilated nun. Tan niyach. Tan niyach becomes taniyach. Taniyach. This is basically just the assimilation, assimilation of a form. The real form comes from nun vav chet.
Okay, because that's the way it's parsing it as well.
Yeah.
And
so we actually find two ways of writing it. We find taniyach, which looks exactly like we would expect. Oops, that's the dot's in the wrong place. Taniyach. This is how we expect it with middle vav becoming e, taniyach, or we find it with taniyach. We like to think that they have different meanings, that the one with the double nun is like put or place or leave alone, and that the one with the original root form is like give rest, like let me rest or cause me to rest or something like this.
This is weird.
But in reality, the forms overlap, and you will find them used in both situations.
That's strange.
Right, Colton?
Yep.
I've
does
never
it a lot
heard
in
that before, but
it happens all over the place. It does it in the Torah a lot.
Yeah. So when it says that God created Adam, and it says that he planted a garden in Eden, and he put him there to keep it or to work it and keep it. That is the Garden of Eden. When it says he put him there, it uses the same verb, lehaniach. When Jews pray in the morning, there are a lot of rituals that go into prayer, of course. And one of the things that is a big, visual part of Jewish morning prayer is the wrapping of tefillin straps around the arm and around the head. Okay, so what we call this is lehaniach tefillin. You lay the tefillin on your arm, close to your heart, and you lay one on your forehead. Lehaniach tefillin. So it's the same verb. That's a lot of time spent on one verb.
Where does the double nun come from?
Don't know.
I'm confused.
I would say that it is.
I've never noticed this before.
In Greek, we have an expression by analogy. Yeah. It means that it takes on the look of a different form. When you study Greek grammar, you learned a lot of things happen by analogy and not because it's natural to the form itself.
Yeah. Yeah, that's exactly what's happening too. I think somebody heard the word and assumed that it was like it was a first noon.
Well, I can tell you why I think it would happen. Why I think it would happen is that when somebody reads this word, when they see it without vowels, right? They don't want to reduce that first syllable. But if you don't close it, you have to reduce it. So it's te tenicheni, like put me down or place me or leave me alone, tenicheni. And they said, I don't really like how that feels. I don't like tenicheni. I want it to say tanicheni. And in order for that to say tanicheni, they close the syllable to maintain the vowel.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Double the noon. Yep. Double the noon in order to do that.
Huh.
That's my assumption.
Now I'm
Remember
irritated
the
that Dalton
vav.
already knew this.
We talked
I go
about
from
this
not
on Discord
understanding
this
to being
week too.
irritated.
We talked about this on Discord this week too. So
Oh,
asiti mishpat va tzedek. The va here is because of the stress of this word tzedek and the relationship between these two words, right? So it's not ve tzedek but va tzedek, like tov va ra. We've talked about before. Good and evil. Tov va ra. Okay, all right. So Jonathan, you are next.
Okay. So, Arov avdecha latov al 𝗥𝗘𝗦𝗡𝗥𝗡𝗦 zedim.
Mm-hmm. Is there anything in the BHS? Do you have BHS in front of you?
I do, and you have got 2 footnotes. One over the avidcha, and it has
Avdecha.
But we can't have that. So why would they want to do that? I don't understand.
Because they're suggesting that instead of avdecha, the dalet, like instead of avdecha, it's devarcha. They just typed it wrong, but it's devarcha.
They did
Your word.
type it wrong.
Instead of your servant, it's your word, they're saying.
Oh, they did type it wrong then. Okay.
And what's the second note?
And then for under all, it just has that a few manuscripts along with the Septuagint have v'al.
Yeah, so a clause
Instead of all,
breaker.
they just have the vav on front of it.
Yeah. Okay, so what would this mean with the emendation or the regular?
So, like, how would you translate this? Like, I don't know how to do it. It's glossed as collateralized. Nobody knows what that means. I don't know what that means.
Yeah, you offer collateral. You offer. You could guarantee something.
Yeah, guarantee is better. So, so guarantee. Well, guarantee the. It's basically saying guarantee your servant is good. Like guarantee your servant's well-being or something.
Yeah, guarantee your servant for good.
For good,
like
yeah.
for a good result. Like guarantee it for him.
Do not oppress the insolent ones. Do not wait. No, that doesn't wait. Do not let the godless oppress me. Oppress is the verb.
Right. And oppress just means do bad things to somebody, right?
Yeah.
Don't let the godless harm me or do bad things to me. Instead of avdecha, it could say devarcha, and then it would be like guarantee your word for good. In other words, that your word is going to come to fruition, right?
Indubitably.
Indubitably.
So I'll clear out the ink and we will look.
What's that from?
Pledge.
Is that from a movie?
Indubitably.
I know it's the word, but everybody says it, and I get annoyed because I want to know where it comes from, and it's not just a random phenomenon. It's called.
Okay, pledge good for your servant. Pledge good for your servant. Yeah. Don't let the arrogant oppress me. This word arov, we bring a noun out of it, and that noun is arev. Arev is a cosigner, someone who guarantees for you if you have to sign a contract. Arev, they're involved. La'arov, Lihitarev means to get involved. Hitarev, to get involved with something. So this root has to do with involvement. Guarantee your servant's well-being. Don't let the arrogant wrong me, oppress me, wrong me, do bad things to me. Oshek is oppression or bad things. All right. Colton.
𝗥𝗘𝗦𝗘𝗦𝗡𝗥 𝗔𝗕𝗦𝗧𝗑𝗓.
Actually, make that
there's
a
no
vocal,
yod on those ones, so you don't have an excuse.
But make that lamed have a vocal schwa. 𝗥𝗘𝗦𝗡𝗥.
𝗥𝗘𝗦𝗡𝗥. Okay, my eyes.
The subject of the verb, right?
Right. Yeah, I'm trying to think of. Well, they something for your salvation.
Well, we should know this verb.
Completed.
It means they end.
Okay.
Right, but another where and you can be more flowery with the idea of ending. They wear out.
Oh,
they
They close. They die.
Languish. Okay. Because you're waiting for God's salvation. Your eyes are hurting, and they're ow, ow, ow. My eyes are ending.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, for your salvation, and for your word of for your righteous word.
Yeah, and we've seen Imra used many times in this chapter to mean promise. Your word means your promise. My word is my bond. All right, fantastic. So we see. So they use kalu for they long for it. They pine away because they're exhausted. They're becoming exhausted. My eyes long for your salvation and your righteous word. My eyes pine away for your deliverance, for your promise of victory. Victory we don't see here. The word victory normally is netzach or nitzachon.
Oh yeah, but
Netzach.
I don't know if this is true, but my professor says that Shin Vav Ayin has to do with victory. Is his opinion.
Shin Vav Ayin. No, we're talking about the word tzedek.
Oh, oops.
The promise of your victory, tzedek.
That bolsters my point.
All right. Verse 124 is going to be the next one. Do we have any questions from our listeners? Can't hear the audio much at all.
I can hear it fine, perfectly.
He says he fixed it.
Oh.
I hope it was on your side then, because I pull the mic away sometimes and I don't notice. All right. So Elena, our dear reader, 120. Dear reader, that's from that TV show.
It's a book, isn't it?
No. Dear reader.
Dear Ashley.
עשה עם עבדך כחסדך וחוקיך למדני.
Just notice that the kaf here is soft because it's following closely with the conjunctive accent here, the melcha. So you got im avdecha chechasdecha. I know that's fun to say. Chechasdecha.
Okay. So do to me to your servant.
It's not to, but with, right?
But it sounds not good. Do with me.
Yeah.
So that's why.
But if we're being literal, right? Do with your servant.
Okay. Do with your servant according to your mercy and your statutes. Teach me.
And teach me your statutes or your laws. Mercy normally is the word achamim. Achamim, mercy. How do we point that?
To your loving kindness.
Doesn't look right. Rechamim. So chesed is a word that gives us all a headache. Loving kindness, faithful, covenant mercy, something like this. Loyal love, steadfast love. But often it's the idea of kindness also. But kindness that is driven from like loyalty or faithfulness. All right, deal with your servant according to your loyal love and teach me your statutes. Deal with your servant as befits you. See this, in both of these cases, they say deal with, as befits your steadfast love, teach me your laws. Because what?
I said do. That's why I said to me. But if you do deal, deal with me. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. If like we would say this to somebody who, let's say they have criminals in front of them, you say, do whatever you want with him. Like just, do whatever you want with him. He's a bad person, punish him, send him to prison, whatever, do whatever you want with him. And that's kind of the sense, I think. Do with your servant.
Then it is transitive.
No, I don't know. You have to do something. You do something, whatever it is, you do X.
Okay.
You can do X according to your mercy or according to your anger or according to your, however you're reacting to what this person has done. So if you look at him and you say, do with him according to your mercy, because he's trying to do the right thing, right?
Jason, did you see Subi's comment?
No.
I just put it on the screen.
It's so easy for us to get used to. You guys, I think, will suffer with Arabic because it's 10 times harder. It's true. Arabic is 10 times harder.
Yeah, I'm not looking forward to it. Maybe I don't.
Arabic has a lot more binyanim, and it's too much for me. I tried. It's too much. Back to me. 𝗥𝗘𝗦𝗘𝗥𝗡. Notice the stress of that word. Ani. Not ani, which is the normal form, I. Normal form, this is pause. 𝗥𝗘𝗦𝗘𝗥𝗩𝗘, havineni. And this takes on the causative sense of that hifil. Lehavin is to either understand, hevin, he understood, or it can take an object and it means to make that person understand, or make that text understood, like in the story of Ezra, when he comes from Babylon, and he makes the text understood, or he makes the people understand the text of the Torah. He gives its meaning. 𝗥𝗘𝗦𝗘𝗥𝗡, havineni, make me understand. That's a good word to memorize, don't you think? Make me understand. 𝗥𝗘𝗦𝗘𝗥𝗡, that I may know your precepts or your testimonies. So I am your servant, give me understanding, make me understand, give me understanding that I may know your statutes. I am your servant, give me understanding that I might know your decrees. Do you see how big do you think the similarity is between the Lexham and the JPS? In many verses I've come to see that they're very similar. All right, Jonathan, next verse, that's 126. We are officially at the halfway mark of the hour.
All right. Et lasot ladonai heferu Toratecha.
The word stress?
Toratecha. Hefesu. Is that what you're talking about?
Heferu,
not hefesu. So literally, it's a season for acting belongs to Adonai. There's your Carl word. And then
I'm sorry, what's a Carl word?
A Carl word where he was confusing participles and gerunds. There's a gerund.
Okay.
A season for acting belongs to Adonai. Well, they break your laws. They have broken.
But it's singular.
They have broken. It is?
Yeah, maybe they violated la faire, yeah. When you have a promise, you can lehakim, you can lehakim, or you can la faire.
But it's third common plural.
Yes, and it's
right?
hifil.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
I must have heard you.
It's a funky form because we have lehafer, lehafer, instead of lehafir. It's not e but a, even though it's hifil.
If you were a first or second year student and you were still using your lexicons, how would you figure that out?
I would open Logos and click on the word. Right click on the word on Logos.
No. So what teachers never say.
That defeats the purpose of Jonathan's question.
Yeah, right. I was trying to spur you on into a little lexical discussion using the process of elimination, but no, you can just go to the.
Oh, well, I don't know. According to the regular pattern, like if it were a strong root, it would be hif, ri.
Well, we know that it's not a strong root.
But the present of the double
day, first noon. Like what do you look for that says, oh, this is missing a doubled resh?
I don't know. I just know the word. Okay. Like this is a word we use all the time in modern Hebrew.
Everybody
like lafer is a word.
Something.
But I mean, this is the problem: is that geminate nouns or geminate verbs, geminate stems, they do a lot of weird things.
Yeah, and
we cover them in wine green. Like
irregular.
They're very irregular. Mm-hmm. They can do the same verb can do 3 different things sometimes. You know?
If you recognize that was a weak verb and you only had 2 letters, you'd have to go through all of your possibilities to find it.
And I've done it before.
I've been there.
The first thing you would look up. The first thing you would look up is
hafar. Mm-hmm.
The first thing you would look up is hafar, but obviously it's not kal because there's a problem with the vocalization. So you would not assume that it's hafar in the kal. Could it be hafar in the pl? Then it would be hipar, and that vowel would reduce hiperu. So it's not pl. It has, like, if you go through the elimination, that hey has to be part of the binyan, part of the stem. And then you can see that it's kind of acting like a middle weak because it's A instead of E with dagesh. Like you just have to like weed through it. It's an ugly form.
We got there eventually.
Yeah.
Click on the word. Smart Alec.
But the root, for those who are interested, the root is pe resh resh. That's the root. Okay.
I try to be funny and Jason just shoots me down. Doesn't even let me get my joke.
I don't process jokes because I'm autistic. I'm telling you.
Right.
Like I process the words that you're saying and I'm like, okay. And then I don't process that it's a joke. So anyway, this is a problematic verse. Look how each of them are translating them differently. Jonathan, can you go through these translations and explain why they might be reacting in different ways?
Yeah, so it is time for Yahweh to act, for they have broken your law, because you don't have necessarily a subject. So you have to imply that Cook would call those dummy subjects. Subjects that stand.
But the way you did it, you say a time to act or a time to do or perform or act belongs to God.
Mm-hmm. I didn't supply the noun.
But you kind of went with that. You kind of went with what the lexem went with. That is that God is the one who needs to act. It's time for God to act.
But I said a time for acting belongs to. So I took the.
But look at JPS.
JPS says it is, because they're supplying the subject.
I'm not worried about it is. I'm worried about the rest of it. Where does the Lord come in?
Oh, for they have broken your law.
It's a time to act for the Lord.
Right.
Jonathan, it's a time to act for the Lord. It means you need to act for God. But the Lexem says it's time for God to act.
Yeah, I read it as the JPS version.
How are we supposed to understand this? Does it mean we are tired of waiting for God to act? Or we're tired of waiting for people to act on behalf of God? Do you see the difference in the translation? A time to act for God,
Let's not
or a time for God to act.
Yeah.
Right, but we need to see that there's obviously a difficulty in this translating this. But how would you think? What do you think is the best, and why?
I think it's putting the onus on God and not humans. Because literally, like I said, a time for acting belongs to the Lord. It's up for him to act.
Okay. Can you look at the BHS and see if that changes your opinion?
Yes.
I'll pull the
Oh, the footnote says, okay. I didn't know that doesn't really.
It's verse 126 right here.
Yeah, that doesn't really affect anything, does it?
It does. It says, PRB means like probably. L is legendum or whatever, to be read. Mm-hmm. And C is cum, with. It's probably to be read with MS, which is a manuscript. There's a Hebrew manuscript. And here, which is Hieronymus, whatever, Jerome.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, so it's probably to be read with one Hebrew manuscript and with Jerome, with the name 𝗕𝗓𝗦𝗡𝗕, that is the Yod, without the Lamed prefix.
Oh, without.
So how does that change? How does that change the?
Well, then that would explain the translations that the other people got.
So if we take off the Lamed prefix,
yep.
How do we read it? 𝗥𝗘𝗦𝗘𝗥𝗡 Adonai, 𝗕𝗑𝗚 Torah. Then Adonai becomes a vocative.
Right.
It is time to act, O Lord. They have violated your Torah. It's talking to God. It's time to act, God. They have violated your Torah. Stop waiting and punish these insolent men.
I think it's a better translation to do it that way, because otherwise you wouldn't start with the 𝗕𝗓𝗦, right?
Yeah. So sometimes the BHS offers us readings that they're in the minority as far as the manuscripts are concerned, but probably better readings, stronger readings. And I think that turning that into a vocative is probably a better reading of the text, which is not demonstrated in either of the translations. All right, Colton, 127. Sorry to be argumentative, but that was a...
No, you're not being argumentative.
Okay.
You're correcting me. Because I'm wrong, as usual.
Because you got to read the BHS and be ready to come with the evidence. Colton,
my teachers would say, it's just one manuscript. It doesn't really matter. One manuscript out of thousands? I don't know. I don't know. I think that's...
I don't think we have thousands of ancient manuscripts in Hebrew, though.
We have a lot.
I wish we did. Colton, 127.
Cool. 𝗥𝗘𝗦𝗦𝗡𝗥 מצוותיך, מזהב ומפז. Therefore,
Paz is my friend's name is Paz.
Therefore, I have loved you.
60,000 Hebrew manuscripts.
Really? No, I'm not. You wouldn't count anything from like the Middle Ages or whatever.
Not full manuscripts, but like manuscripts and fragments and stuff. Fragments of manuscripts. So thousands, and here you have one instance where it does that, which makes me think that there's something to be said for the original reading.
I don't think so.
Okay.
I think that the manuscripts are late enough that they don't matter.
We'll disagree.
Anyway, 𝗥𝗘𝗦𝗦𝗡𝗥 מצוותיך.
Yeah. Therefore, I have loved your commandments. more than gold, and more than, we said, what, refined gold or fine gold or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Like pure gold.
Pure gold, that's
yeah.
what it was. Yeah.
Yeah. Fine gold, pure gold. So her name, Paz, means pure gold. All right, so the mem is where you get the idea of more than, right?
Mm-hmm.
I love your commandments more than gold or fine gold. All right. We've seen several times in the section the word al-ken, meaning therefore. Al-ken, therefore. Another way to say it instead of al-ken is lachen. Lachen and al-ken both mean therefore. All right. Elena, verse 128.
Al-ken, kol pikudei, kol isarti, kol orach, sheker saneti.
Okay.
Therefore, all precepts, all.
So this is a construct that's joined to this. All the precepts of everything.
Oh, okay. So that's a group over here. Okay. All the precepts of everything.
So you know Yashar.
Right for me.
You know Yashar, which is straight.
Right, straight. Yes. And right for me.
So normally the PL, Yashar, PL would be Yisher, and it means to straighten, to make straight. So when it's talking about straightening commandments or ordinances or enactments or anything, it means keep carefully. You keep them carefully.
Oh yeah, that okay. So the precepts of everything I keep I keep carefully.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it. Okay.
Yep.
Oh, and okay. So that's all the way of the false I hate.
Okay. So all is when it's at the singular, it means every. Every false path I hate. I hate every false path, every false road. Mm-hmm. All right. Therefore, all your precepts of everything I regard as right. I regard them as right. Or they down here says, truly by all your precepts I walk straight. You keep them carefully. You make sure that they are followed. BHS does have an emendation here. Notice that after pikudei we have a kaf. Okay, they move this lamed over here, and they say lechol pikudecha. Lechol pikudecha isharti. I pulled the BHS to show. Sorry. So here they move the lamed over. They said to be read probably lechol pikudecha. It says you can compare this with the Septuagint and with Jerome. That in their translations they would render it as this. So I have been basically I have done what's right. I have done what's yashar with regard to all of your laws or precepts. Okay. 129. It's always a good idea to consult BHS, but you will see they have published a lot of BHQ. That's the Biblia Hebraica Quinta, the 5th edition of the Biblia Hebraica. It's replacing the BHS. S does not stand for 5. S stands for Stuttgart. 𝗥𝗘𝗦𝗘𝗧. This is the version of the Biblia Hebraica that came from Stuttgart. So the quinta is the one that's replacing it, Biblia Hebraica Quinta, fifth edition. And you will find comments in the BHQ that it's already been published where they disregard what was published by Kittel in the previous editions. Anyway, we have our word come back where we have, remember the short one, without the vav, as _ฎ𝗏𝗏, and this is _ฎ𝗏𝗏. Okay, so פלאות ฎְבֹתֶך, על כן נצרתם נפשי. Nitzaratam is Natsara. Natsara, she kept. Natsara, and then plus Otam. Jonathan, you say something? Jonathan, I heard you.
He's gone.
Ah, okay. So Natsara Otam comes from an older form, Natsara. Natsara Otam, and the am ending can connect itself to the end of the verb. Okay, and the hey becomes tough. And then you've got to deal with the stress shifting. Okay, now we have a distant syllable, distant, which reduces. Netzara, and we have this as a closed unaccented syllable, takes a short vowel. Netzaratam means she kept them, and the subject is nefesh, which is feminine. Al ken netzaratam nafshi, therefore my soul has kept them. Remember that natsar is a synonym of shamar, kept.
It's a synonym.
So plaot, a synonym. Plaot ฎְבֹתֶך, al ken netzaratam nafshi. Therefore, my soul has kept them. And my soul obviously means I, right? My soul kept them means I've kept them. Your testimonies are miracles, wonders, plaot, wonders. Therefore, my soul keeps them. It's translating the past as if it's present as gnomic. Gnomic means that it applies to all times, even though it's written as a past tense. Your decrees are wondrous. Rightly do I observe them. Rightly means there's a logical connection. That's the word al ken, therefore. Okay. All right, we have 11 minutes left, and we have 7 verses. No, we're going to 130. Yeah, we're going to 136, right?
Yep.
All right. So, Colt, you want to? Oh, Jonathan's back.
Back now. Yeah.
Hello, Jonathan. You disappeared.
Hello. I did, because my computer started playing music, and I had no idea why, and I didn't know where it was coming from, and I didn't want people to hear it, so I left.
Kill that computer.
You didn't hear it?
I heard something. I just heard you jump off. I think I heard you say, "Oh."
Yeah, I was like, "Gosh," because it was going da 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 da, like for Christopher Nolan music.
No, we didn't hear.
Or not Christopher Nolan, Hans Zimmer music.
I would pull up what it said that you responded to. That faru is more like the Arabic word, which means discarded. Definitely, l'affaire can be to discard, to like violate, to break. If you have an agreement with someone, when you discard the agreement, you violate the agreement, you cancel it. You cancel it out. That's the idea, and I like that in Arabic the R is doubled because that goes to the geminate sense of the word. Very nice, good comment, thank you, Jonathan. 130.
Okay, I'll read it as it's written first. Petach devarecha, Yair mevin petanim.
Yair has a ribiyah. It's
Yair.
a disjunctive.
Sorry. Yeah. Petach devarecha Yair mevin petayim. So to start with, the notes suggest that it be pointed with a shava instead of a sere, so that means they want to take it as an imperative, which would be the normal word order. Petach. Petach devarecha Yair. So it's like the opening of your word is right.
Your words
is shines, rather, enlightens, right?
The opening of your words gives light.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, to give light. Yeah, enlightens. Mm-hmm.
Which means when your words are opened or when they are revealed or uncovered.
Well, clearly
or
it means just when you open the Bible up, that's when it happens.
Oh, yes, that's true. Open it and put your finger in the middle. See where you come up.
Just
No
pick out a
study,
random
just,
verse.
no study, just wait there and
Right.
just let it.
See, Jason, you can catch jokes. Don't sell.
Hey, I did understand. I did understand that one.
So the opening of your word enlightens from understanding.
Again, the word is singular or plural?
Right. It's right.
No,
Yes.
it's plural.
It's plural of your words. Yep.
Mhm.
Yep. Sorry. It is plural, of course. And then this is kind of weird because I don't think that this is a complete sentence.
Well, I think that the subject is still petach dvarecha, and the mevin is the verb and tayim is the object.
It's verb gapping. So you'd have to take what's said in the previous sentence and supply it then. So
Which is?
Well, it's basically saying it gives understanding to the simple person.
Yeah, it makes the simple people understand.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Trying to move the screen, but it's not moving. There we go. The unfolding of your words gives light, giving understanding to the simple.
And look at the footnote on B.
Yes.
Interesting. So it's saying that should be singular instead of plural, which makes
if you read it
happy.
If you read it according to the Syriac and said ptach, it would be ptach dvarecha. Open your words, let them give light. Yair. Mevin ta'im. Or they give light, maybe it. It's kind of weird because if petach is the subject, then yair is the verb that follows from it.
Oh, what interesting. MLT means multi, but then it says IE plus quam 20. So more than 20 manuscripts and the Syriac have Devarecha, I think. I think that's what it's saying. If it says MLT, it's more than 20. I didn't know that. I didn't know there was a number associated with it.
I didn't know that either. The words you inscribed give light and grant understanding to the simple. All right, Colton.
Yes.
You get the fun one illustrated.
Va'eshafa ki mitzvotecha ya'avti. Okay. For what is it, like open my mouth? Is that what that is? Right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah. But it's from the word ba'ar, which is like a gap. So I opened my mouth wide.
It's Jason's mouth right now. A gap.
Yeah.
Not a full.
I opened my mouth wide so that I might what are we oh, that's right. So that I might gasp. So that I might pant.
So the if you have asthma, you have a little thing that you shake and you go, right?
Mm-hmm.
What you do there is called lishof. So the thing is called the mashefa, the thing for the asthma, the
you
breathing
call it an inhaler?
treatment. Inhaler. So this is the word for inhaling.
Yeah.
I open my mouth wide that I might inhale.
Yeah.
So that I can take in a lot of air.
For your for I have longed for your commandments.
Yeah. So Ya'av is related to Ava, like Aviti. I wished, I wanted. It could be related to Ta'av, 𝗥𝗘𝗦𝗢𝗙𝗢. Or it's even close to 𝗥𝗓𝗦𝗢𝗙. I love them. I long for them. I desire them. It's, all these roots are tightly connected. I open my mouth and pant, because I long for your commandments. I don't really like panting, but
Yeah,
that's what it does.
dog. That's what dogs and cats do.
Yeah.
A rogue.
Yes.
Go ahead, Elena. You've got verse 132.
𝗥𝗘𝗦𝗡𝗙𝗢𝗙.
What's that verb?
Pnei.
Remember this one, what I'm circling?
𝗥𝗘𝗦𝗡𝗙.
Not chaneni, but choneni.
𝗥𝗘𝗦𝗡𝗙.
What's the
I
root of
missed
it?
that, Jason. I missed that one.
That's his closed syllable.
The root is Hanan.
Hanan.
Like Hananel, God has mercy. The noun that comes from it is chen, mercy, or grace, or favor. So what happens to the root to get us to this, where we've got choneni, a closed syllable, y? The future would be like ata tachon, like this. It's geminate. That's the problem with these geminate words. Ata tachon. The imperative is chon, have mercy, and then you add the me onto it. Okay, and the geminate returns. Once that geminate returns, and we've got any for me, the geminate returns. Now this syllable is closed and unaccented. It cannot be here, so it reduces to o, choneni. Okay, this is an imperative. Imperative plus first common singular suffix.
That one's tricky because you wouldn't know that if you weren't paying attention to the dogish.
Yeah.
Because the dogish is the reason why you would know that that's a closed syllable.
Yeah. So go ahead and start over at the beginning of the verse if you would.
𝗥𝗘𝗦𝗡𝗙 כמשפט לאוהבי שמך.
And Shmecha is the puzzle form of Shimcha, right? Your name.
Shem and Ha. Yeah, your name.
Okay.
Okay, so turn your face onto me and be gracious to me, because
it's related to the root for face, like panim, but it doesn't mean necessarily turn your face. It just means turn. Turn to me. If you turn right or you turn left, it's just the word for turn.
Turn. Okay. Turn to me and be gracious to me, as your law is to loving your name, to those who love your name.
To those who love your name. Okay. Let's take this instead of law as custom. So turn to me and be gracious to me according to custom for those who love your name. Like it's God's custom to show love to those who love his name. Right? It's his practice. So it says, turn to me and be gracious as is proper. It's proper, or it's your rule. It's how you do it for those who love your name. Okay.
Oh, that's good. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We don't have any time at all. The 𝗥𝗘𝗦𝗡𝗙 𝗥𝗘𝗦𝗡𝗙. This 𝗥𝗘𝗦 is from the word pa'am, which means a beat, a time, an instance. It's about the rhythm. It's my steps. Prepare my steps in your word or in your promise. And aven is the subject here. It's like evil or sin or something. Don't let evil or any evil have control over me. The have control is the hifil, lashlit, ishlit, of this word that means government, like shilton, governance, power, rulership. So make my feet firm through your promise. Do not let iniquity dominate me or have power over me. We just got to run through them quickly because we've got to get to wine green. Pedeno me'oshek adam ve'eshmera pikudecha. Redeem me from the oppression of man or the bad doing. Remember, oshek, that I might keep your enactments, your laws, precepts. Panecha, this is really the word for face. Ha'ir, imperative, from all, light. Cause your face to light in your servant, ba'avdecha. Cause your face to light in your servant, or for your servant in this case. V'lamedeni et chukecha, we've seen a million times in this chapter. Show your face on your servant, shine your face on your servant, and teach me your statutes. Palgei maim yardu einai, we're missing the word me, from. Al lo shamru to'atecha, this is like fountains of water, streams of water came down from my eyes, means I cried. I cried a lot. This is a poetic way to say that I was crying because this is like ki, like al asher, or because lo shamru to'atecha, they don't keep your Torah. So it says streams of water flow down from my eyes because people don't heed your law. My eyes. Notice the word al, it means on or because of something. In this case, it's a bit odd because we have an entire verbal clause, lo shamru to'atecha, that's been like subordinated just to the word al. We would normally expect the word asher to be somehow involved in such subordinating situations. And that's as far as we can go because we've got to finish wine green today and never have to touch wine green again. That's going to be fun, isn't it?
Unless we do his composition textbook.
Exactly. But we'll never have to touch this grammar book again.
You hate it?
It's not a fun book, let's just be honest. But it's been nice to spend time with everybody on here.
It's not for modern students either. I think a first semester Hebrew student would look at that grammar and go, what? We have to do all this? Yeah.
Well, we'll remind you, please hit the like button.
Which your mom already said.
With your friends. Yeah.
Your mom.
And we're going to go on to the Hebrew Cafe, youtube.com/Hebrew Cafe, hit live, and come to Wine Green with us. So we're going to go there real quick and get started. We'll see you in a minute. Am Yisrael Chai.
Am Yisrael Chai.